All right, Madam, Mr. Chair, it is 6:30, so I will turn it over to you.
Thanks, Kevin. I'd like to call to order the Salary Commission meeting on June 17th. Kevin, can you do a roll call for us?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Mr. Abe Turkey.
Here, present.
I see Masood Rahid is joining. Masood, are you with us?
Yes, present.
Perfect. Madam Vice Chair Medea Hamaja
Present.
and Chair Faisal Aziz.
Present.
You have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. The first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have the motion on floor to approve the minutes from last meeting. Everybody who agrees, say aye.
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 Aye. The motion has been approved unanimously. Okay. Before we jump to the main topic, anybody has any comments or questions? Okay, so we have one primary topic today. I see good progress made on the report. Thank you all for doing that. The way I'm thinking about it is that I can just share and we can go section to section, and people, if they have questions or like whatever, we can just go through that. If anybody has any other particular way of doing it, feel free to mention. Okay.
No, that sounds be a good idea.
Okay, let me just share. Okay. So the front page, actually, request to Kevin and Adriana and Tony, feel free to give any feedback that you guys want to give also. Okay, so yeah, so basically this is just the expected date, our names, and what I took from the previous reports. Basically, nothing very special. Just talking about where the charter for this Salary Commission is coming from, and that it's basically we are enclosing our recommendations, and we are open to getting questions on any additional information. So assuming non-controversial, I decided to do the table of contents. Just keep the heading 1 and 2. For some reason, the first one is showing up a little bit small. We'll fix that. Otherwise, it was becoming very, very busy. I did change the font to Calibri. I'm open to changing it. And then the font size is 12. I'm open to changing it. If people think like it's becoming too many pages, we can go to 11.
A question would be that if Washington County has a particular style that they publish their reports or want to see their reports in.
Yes, I had the same question for Kevin or Adriana.
So each department puts things in different ways. I think the format you have here is simple and easy to follow.
In terms of font or size, is there any recommendation for the font or size, or we use whatever we feel is appropriate?
You feel whatever you use, but I use for the board stuff Calibri 12, what you have there. So I think that
perfect.
works.
And I remember I did read somewhere that is the official font. So
Calibri
12. So you guys got it right the first time.
Okay, I did look at like 6 different fonts and try to decide what looked the most professional to me. Cool. Okay, so after that, after table of contents, a single page that talks about what the recommendation is, what the current salary is, what the next year's salary is, what the year after salary is, some notes that talk about the first pickup, and then COLA for people who may not know. It's like a brief description of COLA. I also took this from the past reports, didn't try to create something new. The reason for having this at the first page is that if somebody is looking at the report and all they are interested in is the recommendation, they can just stop here. They have all the information that they need. Any feedback on this one? Okay.
No, it's good.
Summary we still will write at the end. So I think at the end of day today, at the end of this meeting, this will still be to do. I think somebody has filled this. Thank you so much. Actually, let's come back to summary. I think once we have gone through the report, maybe it will be easier to look at the summary afterwards.
Yeah, this from the start that I did, like very, very start when we didn't have anything at that time.
Perfect. I think, yeah. So I expect like once we make changes or have agreement on we can come back and summarize as we want. Maybe I should jump back. So when I was going through it, I thought of how to divide things, and some people had also pointed out that there was some duplicate information in terms of like the methodology and stuff. So the way I thought we can divide it is a process of how we went through it, which doesn't really talk about maybe the actual numbers or something, but what the process was. Then it kind of goes into like details of like what the actual methodology, like what comparators we use and why, and now we can talk about numbers and stuff. And then the Selvi recommendation details is like actually how once we have figured out what things to do, how we are combining the numbers and what the actual numbers are. So it's kind of that method. And then after that, we can, yeah, so that's kind of, so the process, we can jump. So what I will do is have people read the process before, or this is the first time people are reading it?
No, I've read the report. Yeah, multiple times now.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So yeah, so actually, can somebody take notes since I'm sharing like if we get any to-dos that we don't finish it here? If there are
I'll
small
take the
edits, we will
notes.
if there are small edits, we'll just do it here. But if there's something bigger, then just so we can remember.
Sure, I'll take the notes.
Thanks. Okay, so the first was the role of Selvi Commission. I think that was understanding, and I basically mentioned about both understanding the charter and bylaws and stuff, as well as the rules that would govern our behavior, kind of going through like what other things that we went through. So both in terms of like conflict of interest, how the public meetings are run, different policies, and things like that. And then we chose our chair and vice chair. So just mention that. I think the second thing was basically just, and this is kind of connected to the previous one, having a good understanding of what we need to do was, it was helpful to look at what the previous commission has done. So just mentioning through that. I'm kind of like going through it quickly because, and I'm assuming you guys will stop me if there's some particular feedback.
I'm going to forget something, so I might as well.
No, I will explicitly. Yeah, I will. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I might as well say something right now. The footer of Washington County Salary Commission, if we can reduce the font size for that one to say 8 or something less, so it is becoming a little distracting, if I may call it so. So, but that's all. Page number can stay the same size, but it was getting a little distracting to me.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
I was also thinking I can make it a little bit grayer. Is that better? So I made it smaller and grayer.
Yeah, it looks better.
Right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so then after the previous Salary Commission, I think that what I wanted to talk about was we referred to internal and internal comparators a lot. So basically just wanted to give, hey, we looked at like one of the ways to do it was to look at potential comparators. Here, I'm not talking about whether we use them or not, but just introducing the concept. And then what the internal comparators are, what the external comparators are. Maybe instead of what, so actually, yeah, there's, Masood, can you remind me after we are done I have some questions on terminology. So we can cover that. So the way we didn't like do internal comparison for all the employees of the Washington County, obviously, right? So I just grouped them as Washington County employees in leadership positions and then elected leaders in neighboring counties. And okay, and then question for commissioners. I think this is something that personally I was not sure was needed or not, but I think I wanted to highlight that this was an important source of information. I was half the mind of start recommending things here also that, hey, this is important, other commissions do that. But then I remembered the discussion that we had before, and Tony had mentioned that she will have some kind of a process thing. So those things again should go there. And this should be more focused on the recommendation. So I didn't go there. The other commission, yeah. So we will have a process feedback that we can give, and then next commission can decide. Okay, and then I tried to summarize what I think the questions were. So feel free to, yeah, we can actually edit it on the fly if people have feedback.
Opinion on this. Do we need so much detail here if we have that whole appendix, so we can make it shorter and concise?
So I was thinking that we don't have the detailed question as part of the report, but have it in the appendix itself. So appendix is kind of like things that are not really, like the report is complete without them, and they're kind of like references for people. So I was thinking this amount of information is probably enough. And only if somebody is really interested, they can go there. So that's kind of where my...
Okay. Yeah, I feel even if somebody wants to go there, even this can be shorter, but sure.
I'm open. Like, how would you want to do it?
Like we don't have to like just the salary commission was asked to for about the interview. The commission decided to do these interviews and brainstorm to come up with questions ahead of time to communicate with the BSV, and then we can just refer to the appendix. And not mention, but sure, if you want to mention, yeah.
Okay, so kind of like remove all of this.
Yeah, and just refer to the, like, make it short.
Personally, I think I would agree with Faisal that leaving some breadcrumbs right here is okay. It is the page number 5. As still the interest of the reader is going to be there. Would like to know if I don't find it too much distracting or too much verbose. It's going to be fine, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm gonna comment here and just say, can remove this if we want to reduce length, right? So this is an optional thing, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Okay.
Reduce. Okay, and then yeah, we can come back to such comments. Okay, city administrators interview. So this is something that we hadn't planned, but I personally found it very useful. And I think, did I misspell Tania's name? Because Masood and I were spelling it differently.
No, you're right. You spelled it right.
Okay.
So yes, I was the one who was spelling it incorrectly, and I have corrected it since.
Oh, perfect. Okay, then I don't have to look for it. Okay, so this is just talking like it was helpful, and kind of why, primarily because she could give us the description of the structure of the government and the difference in the responsibility between the administrator and the BCC, the Board of County Commission. And then talking about when we did this, yeah, maybe I will just make it Paul. So other thing I intended to do was to make the information for some people, like people easy to find. Like personally, it was hard for me when I was trying to look for it. Like I had to first go read the minutes and then like go and see the videos. I was just thinking we can just refer to the meetings, and then it might be easier for them to kind of see which, if they're interested in a particular interview or something.
Yes, it would be nice if we could have a hyperlink. Kevin could add it if it's something that is done or it is out of the scope of this report, Kevin.
So yeah, I actually thought about it, but yeah, the reason I didn't do it because we have the links actually already, like they have been getting added. The reason I didn't add it is because Kevin mentioned that sometimes it is possible that they move the thing, so they will still be on the website, but they might move it. So if I have links in here, they will might get outdated, and that actually might be more confusing. Like if they can find the main website, they can always find the meetings.
Okay.
And other way, the way I have been finding meetings is YouTube search.
Yeah.
Okay, and then basically then talking about the interviews, like how long the interview lasted, and mentioning that it as like they covered things as well as our follow-ups, and when did we get what. And then I think I wanted to highlight that we did divide into committees and to come up with the initial recommendation and what the committees were.
This again, I want to add that, do we put it here or in the process part of it? Does it
This is the process.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still in the process section.
Okay.
Actually, is it okay if
I meant, is it going to be a separate report for the process, like complete,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Let me.
or this is what we are presenting to the board? Does it?
So I see what you are saying. I do refer to these committees' recommendation later.
Okay.
So okay, I will put a question mark in the comment. But I think the way, if I don't put it here, I think then I will need to change some things later on.
Some wordings, yeah.
Mention this later on.
I read that, yeah.
Do you still feel we should question it or just keep it for now?
You can leave it, but if we want to make it more concise, then we can change it a little bit. But if you want to keep it long, I'm just thinking from the perspective of when we're presenting.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, let's talk about presenting afterward. I don't think we have to present every line.
Yeah.
Like, for example, for the process, I would just read like, like, I don't think going through the process in our presentation makes sense. I personally feel like we don't have to cover the process at all when we present it. If we were to present it, we might just read the headings, but really I would skip that part. We don't have to, like, we only have 10 minutes to present, right? We don't have to cover the whole report for sure.
Okay.
I have a different question, and that is after the Minnesota events that are unfolding, could we anonymize our names a little bit more instead of spelling it out completely with the full last name? Could we just say Faisal A, Masood R, or Madhia A, or something like that? Could we do that? And that would be the question for the Clerk Moss and Adriana.
So Masuda names are actually out there already.
True.
I was able to find, that's how I found the name of Ibrahim once when I searched, like you can actually on the website, the names are there.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We all knowingly, yeah, it's fine. It's good. Thank you. Let's move.
Okay. Salary recommendation discussions. So yeah, this is just saying like, yeah, here I refer to the committees basically. That first we did the committees and then we discussed, like all of us discussed the recommendations of the committee before we agreed on the thing. And then, so this was like the process of doing this, coming up with the study recommendation. Then how we handled the report. We basically looked at the owners and reviewers and covered that. And then the final report presented here. And if we all agree that we are still presenting there, then I'll just remove this. Okay, so again, I try to keep the process, even though there's a lot of subsections, it's kind of like try to keep it short, not go into too much detail. Just okay, and then the second is like, this is a methodology of how we want to do it. This is in blue because Ibrahim, you wanted to just differentiate from the rest, or I'm assuming. No, why is it blue? Oh, because there's a comment.
So that again, I entered it in, I didn't enter it in an edit mode. I just left it in color this time when I first edited it. So
Okay. Is it okay to change the color to?
yes, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I will remove this. Actually, I'm gonna remove one other thing. Sections that we have already covered, I'm gonna remove the primary and secondary honor if that's okay. Or do people still want it? Like, we'll just leave it on the things that, because now everybody is reviewing.
Yeah.
And we have gone past the time of individuals reviewing it. Okay, so
another
I think we go ahead, Madhia, first. You go ahead.
I just wanted to say that the color of the headings is still blue, like it was previously in the table. You can change that too. Remember the table?
I personally kind of okay with it unless somebody feels strongly. No, I was just changing the text itself was blue. That's what I was changing. The heading, actually, I don't mind. It's dark enough that if you take a printout, it'll still be okay.
Then it's fine.
Yeah.
I thought you changed the table of contents. It had blue headings too into black. So maybe you wanted to change.
Oh, that I didn't try to do it. I just refreshed it. I actually removed it and re-edited it, and it's edited in this color.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't try to do it. Which actually, to be honest, makes sense. I think all the headings are blue, and this table of content is not headings, but actual content. So all the content is black. So in some ways, it's consistent in my mind. I don't know why size of this is smaller than this. Actually, let me just fix it now. I don't know. It's weird to me that why this happened, given that
Is it the number is correct?
this should be automatic. You know, they're still like heading 1.
Yeah,
Otherwise they wouldn't be showing up like this.
yeah.
Maybe this is. Oh yeah, let me just do one thing. I'm just going to select everything and just change it to 12. Okay.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, now jumping to the. Okay. So I don't think I've reviewed this section before, so I'm gonna quickly read it, if that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I can make it bigger for people. Okay, hopefully this is better. Sorry, I keep changing. I'll stop now.
Yes.
So this is interesting. I was thinking, okay. I actually think this is a very good summary. If we just take this whole thing to our summary, and then here we don't have to have, so
yeah,
like the guideline and stuff is actually under this, so we don't have to cover. We can just put one line, here's the methodology that we followed or something like that. But I actually think this is a very good summary of what we did. What do you guys think?
Be in the methodology of.
Yeah, it's because the methodology is going to go into details of each of this thing anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I read the report after writing this, and I found that myself kind of repeating.
Yeah.
The report was repeating what I was saying. So yeah, I can go with that.
I feel the same. There'll
Okay.
be repetition.
Agreed
I'm
there
gonna
too, so that should be fine. Just
that is very nice. We get our summary also.
yes.
I'm just gonna put a comment here. This can be removed. This was a placeholder. Or if it's okay, Madhya, should we just remove it, or do you want to combine it with what's up there?
You can remove it if you want. It's fine.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good details of the summary.
This is just-
What about using the first line?
Yeah, the goal
I
to ensure
saw.
fairness and transparency, we can just start with that and then add Ibrahim's.
Nice. Interesting. Why does it leave us? Okay, I think formatting, maybe we need to spend a little bit more time. Since we are talking about it, do people prefer maybe this kind of formatting where the lines add correctly, or this kind of thing?
Again, that would be a part of the formats as the county prefers to have. So I don't mind justified or unjustified. This is to me, we can read all those things fairly well.
I thought you were supposed to justify everything in the report.
Is
joking.
that that's what it is? Then
I
justify.
was joking. I was joking about.
Then you can
supposed to
justify.
the decision. No. Sorry, stupid joke.
No, I know what you you meant. So.
Okay, you guys have preference? I can look at the other reports if you guys want.
Adriana, Kevin, if you know how do you do it, we'll just do it that way.
How do we format? I don't think there's a specific way. I'm actually sending a message to Anne to see if we can volunteer somebody to format it for you. That way, all you need to worry about is the content.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I was actually wanted to suggest that the formatting and a little bit more the way academic papers are being written with the heading and subheading with the justification or indentation, so they follow the flow better. So, but right now it seems like if you are offering, then we will take it. Seems like these are all not justified, so we should
Yep. All
continue with.
three of them are not justified. So your second comment, Masood, was that the headings don't have numbers.
Yes, I mean, so the thing is, I'm just keying on the fact that when earlier on about 5-10 minutes ago, there was a little bit of a confusion, commission process, salary commission process. While we are looking at that section, there was some comment that are we now looking at the details of these process, or are we still looking at the high level process
No,
that you're following?
I was confused. Madhya was saying that when she was saying process, she knew where we were. She was asking if that content should go in the process document that Tony might be working on. I don't think Madhya was confused about where we were. I thought she was.
Yeah.
So the reason I don't want to justify them too much, because already the document is like 20 plus pages. I don't want to shrink the area for content. If you guys want, we can always add headings A, B, C, D, and then A.1, B.1. That
I
I'm
think
okay
that would suffice the need. So then what I'm looking for. So that should be fine.
Okay. Can you take a note on that?
Sure.
And then if somebody does the formatting for it, I would want to see it before we present it. So I don't know how much time we will have, right? Because we'll be done by Friday. We are presenting it on Monday, right? So
But Tuesday?
sorry, Tuesday. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. My bad. Okay.
So Anne said that we could have somebody format it. So all you need to worry about is the content.
Okay. Okay. I think if they do, so we will give them after Friday, I guess, on Friday. And if they can give us by the end of day Monday, then at least we will have some time to look at what they have, how they have formatted, if we have any concerns or something.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going to come back to. Weren't we just going to delete this paragraph and just take the small part and put it up there and delete the rest that I wrote?
Thank you for catching that. I got distracted. Okay, and I'll fix this. Okay, sorry. I actually like the specification way better. What do you guys think? We can just make a decision now between us.
I personally am a little OCD, so I like clear, straight lines better. That's why I did that initially. But
I wasn't thinking about it, but now that I see both, I actually like this better than what it was. Ibrahim, Masood, you guys have any feeling?
Don't have preference at all on this one.
Okay, I can fix it later then. Role of Selvi. Okay, so we there. Let's jump back to where we were. You guys think we even need a line here, or this is like we have subsections in here in the Selvi determination methodology? Do I need to put a line here saying here is the methodology, or just not even have that? Ibrahim, you're on mute.
I think for the purpose of this report, either way will work, but without a line, it's flowing as well as with the line.
Okay. Sorry, Ibrahim, you were saying?
Yeah.
Same thing? Okay.
I
Then
think that we have the word guidelines, or either you can remove it and just have here are the some of the guidelines which were discussed, and that will be the one line, and you start off.
so a guideline is a subsection of the Selvi methodology.
Oh, okay. So you want to give? We can
And
leave.
then
I think it doesn't.
Yeah, so the way I did the methodology, first, when I did it, all of these were separate sections: assumption of full time, salary recommendation, but it was becoming too much. And when I was creating the table of content, it just like was,
On and on.
it was
yeah.
just like, and then these sections are very, very small, right? They are not like really coming up with this kind of like how we are thinking, not actually doing the recommendation. So then I thought, okay, how do I combine all of these things into something, right? So I thought I should call it assumptions, but these are like not assumptions, right? The salary recommendation only is kind of part of our charter. So I called it guideline. If you guys, basically these are the kind of parameters that we were making our decisions in. What do you guys want to call it? Guidelines or something else if you think is more descriptive?
I mean, until you asked the question, I didn't think twice about it. It seems to be the right nomenclature for what we are trying to describe in this section.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's the same thing. The recommendation and guideline is the same thing, right? Like we are doing recommendations, guidelines for following that.
I think now that you have given me some words, I think assumptions are, oh, well, no.
No, assumption. I think
No, assumptions.
yeah, we
would
shouldn't call
not
the
fit there.
assumption on this.
No, it's not.
It just doesn't
It's
look.
Okay. So I basically talked about, I had more things in mind, but when I was writing it, I thought maybe these were the most important that I thought. If you guys think there's some other ones that we should add, assumption of full-time, salary recommendation only. When I was going through other reports, I think Multnomah report has used the word benefit consideration. So I just left it, but I thought I'll ask when we are reviewing. You guys like salary recommendation only or benefit consideration or something else?
I think we could put benefit consideration and then just talk about we are not doing that, like be more specific.
Okay. And then I personally was not assuming that in the start, even though every report, everything we have seen gives all the commissioners the same. To me, especially like when the commissioners were talking about the uniqueness of their districts, to me, this was a question that we actually thought about and decided we want to explicitly, even though with all of those differences, we still want to keep it the same. So this is how I try to capture it. I'm very open to.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Okay. Cool. Okay, internal comparators. And here, so in this particular section, there are three things: guidelines, internal comparators, external comparators. That's pretty much it. And what we are talking about the internal comparators is we looked at it and we decided not to use it, and why. Under the internal comparator, we have this section, we have this table, and then we have this county commissioner roles and private sector positions. This was before somewhere else I brought it in this section because these kind of things go together to me.
So my own feeling about that one is that the only reason I went ahead and wrote a couple of paragraphs regarding the private sector position is because the heading was there and it had my name on it. So I went ahead with this. The content of this one is not too different from if we look at the internal comparators content. So to me, it can be removed. With the fact that there was especially with Tanya, and then when Chair Harrington were talking about it, they compared themselves to the CEO of the companies. So that would be the only reason I wanted to say something that, yeah, we looked at it, if they are the CEOs and the chief executive officers or chief operating officers, is there any validity or is there any model we can create for the comparison sake or not? I could not come up with any, and we have already talked about that too. So that's the only reason it's here.
Okay, I think if that's the case, then I would move it out from here. The only question is, do we want to keep this discussion in the appendix or remove it completely then?
That's up to the whole group. It could go just for the reason that it was mentioned by two during our two interviews. I think it could serve some purpose by putting it in the appendix. Otherwise, no, it really does not matter.
No, I have an input too. I think we can put it in the appendix. I also wrote something similar underneath the questions in the question section if you go down there, and maybe we can merge it. Otherwise, there is repetition between
Yeah.
both try to answer that question, Masood and I. If you go all the way down to the interview questions and the
I went over it for it.
county commissioner interviews part. It's page 22. Page 22.
Thank you. All right.
22.
Okay, the header was coming on top of it. That's why I missed that. Okay, compensation.
At the end, you go down. I just start talking about the same thing. During the interviews conducted by the salary, some commissioner noted that the current compensation does not reflect the scope. And then I started giving an explanation too. So it's the same thing, but he has given like more elaborate. So we should just merge it and appendix, I think.
Yeah. I think up there it is redundant, especially when we have just talked about and discussed the internal comparators. Internal comparators are a little bit more significant and has a little bit more importance to have it in the body of the report. The one that I wrote down, private sector one, that can either be deleted completely or moved down to the appendix as one of the topics that we discussed and was mentioned otherwise.
Okay. So how about this?
I'm okay with. I think my recommendation is to at least remove it from the body of the report.
It should.
Okay.
Later.
So then, do I keep these two paragraphs, or you think totally remove it, or try to combine it with the other parts?
Like we can combine and make it concise, and.
Okay. Then I want a volunteer to do it. I don't know how to do it on the fly.
Yeah, I can do it, and then I can paste it again, and I'll keep it colored so everybody can see what. I'll keep the old two and then the new two along with it, so you can.
Okay.
And now we're moving it to the appendix.
Yes, I think so. We are moving it to the appendix, and then I'm just going to take these two sections and then just put it in that other section and say combine.
But then we're going to remove that section from the middle of the report, and it'll go.
Yep. Okay. Now I'm going to use colors because this has to be combine the section above in purple. With the section below And so yeah, the idea is that it shouldn't look like it has come from two different places, right? You want basically just one section.
More smooth and flowing.
Okay. Wow. Ibrahim, you don't have you can just fix our things. You don't need permission. Ibrahim was doing it the right way with actual we can review and stuff. Thank you for doing that. I was just joking. This is a very good way to do it. I should have followed the same.
This is kind of bring me to a question is, are we gonna assume the staff person that's gonna review this, gonna review where the abbreviation kind of?
Yeah, so I want to talk about also, I think there's a
Or we
few
can-
different methodologies that I'm stuck
Ye-
on. So one is Oregon versus, or I think Washington versus WA. I also use the word CCB to shorten it at some point. And then the way we refer to commissioners, I myself was not consistent. Sometimes I will call them district commissioners. Sometimes I will call them district county commissioners. Sometimes I'll call them county commissioners, sometimes just commissioners. So I think, yeah, so I think this is questions that I have for the staff here to kind of tell what the right way, what's a right but short way of referring to the commissioners that are not chair. That is technically correct, but also doesn't add a whole line. Okay, so I am I'm going to agree with all of these, Ibrahim, and then based on their feedback.
Yeah, I mean, somebody needs to look at it after we're all done to kind of look at the whole
Make
report.
it consistent. Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the only reason I was there's no good reason to use smaller things. The only reason is to make it less long, but okay, so I'm gonna move this section, this whole section. To appendix.
So since myself and Ibrahim were going to do this, and we are going, let's Madhya, I appreciate that you all volunteered, but let me do the combine them together, and we can have you do this review later on.
Okay, I'm okay with that if Madhya is okay with that. Masood and Madhya. Okay, so then I'm going to leave it here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go back. Okay.
And while we are talking with the terminology, I had some questions regarding the terminology too, regarding how are we addressing the full-time? We call the is it the okay to call the full-time employee commissioners being full-time employee, part-time employees, or do we want to call them employee in any way, or is there another word for them?
I think it's
when are we?
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was going to say in this particular case, it'll be a full-time position and leave it at that without calling them an employee.
Masood is talking about employees or commissioners?
I'm talking about the employees, commissioners, commissioners. So so if you look at it, page number 8, this I'm trying to come say that, hey, are they part-time workers or part-time employees? What should we call these commissioners and chair?
So commissioners and chairs are not employees, right? They are elected leaders. We should just call them elected leaders or commissioners.
So when we are trying to say that the county board chair and commissioners were considered
I see what you're saying.
workers.
What we should say was that the commissioner position was previously thought of as part-time.
Okay.
Right? We just say the position was part-time and now it's considered full-time.
Okay. I think I'm okay with that one. I will make the edits later on accordingly.
Sounds good. And I can let me know, Masood, when you are done, and then I can review it. I don't think I reviewed this section. Sure. Okay, so one other thing before we jump here, and maybe we can review this. The table, can we move it to appendix also, or I personally feel
it
like
can be moved to the, and that was the original idea, that we should have as many tables as possible in the appendix. And what I would do is I would try to summarize the table into maybe about 5, maybe 3 lines, all those items.
okay. So then maybe I'm gonna give it to you, Masood.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
will
okay?
move it. Moving the table is not easy in the Word Google Docs, but I will move it. I'm taking it right here.
I can move the table below, and then I can give you a AR to kind of summarize the discussion. Okay, and Masood, if you get too many ARs, like, sorry, too many action items, we can divide and okay.
No, that's fine.
And a couple of lines here to replace the table. Oh, actually, do we want to keep the table at all, or just get rid of it? What do you guys think? The reason I'm asking is that normally appendix is like, I don't know, like, yeah, I'm actually struggling.
How about if we just move it to the appendix, and on Friday when we meet at that time, we can look at the value. If it is adding, if it is not adding any value, remove it.
So, and then one other question. What should be the heading for this table in the appendix?
Public versus private. I think the same heading. I think we moved it to.
So these are two different, right? So yes, we moved that already, but you really want to put this section, this table in that section also?
It is a comparison of that. But it's county versus, well, maybe you can do
So
elected.
this is internal, yeah, internal versus external.
Elected versus career employees at the county. Career elected versus career county employees. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, formatting it, like I said, is not easy when it is table and table like this. So.
Oh, I know what's happening. I probably have a page break here.
Yeah, that will help.
Okay, that is a format. So let's if I okay, that's fine.
Oh, this was coming from the format.
No, all I was saying is a formatting thing. Let's look at the content and move things in the appropriate locations.
Okay. Private. Okay, sorry. Okay. Let's see. And I'm gonna zoom it in. Okay. Okay, so with that, internal comparators, Masood, you're going to do it, and then we can review it. Okay, external comparators. What was used? Maybe recommendations. Okay, yeah. So this is what I was referring to, Madhya, that later on I actually start like that committees were there. So the what committee recommended. I end up using more words. I think this is my fault. Ibrahim, you felt strongly removing anything, or you're okay with it?
I'm definitely okay with it, but I'll read it again and kind of, from what I read, I was comfortable with it.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to make anything concise, that's good. Otherwise, I think this is kind of the things that we had talked about. Then the counties in the external comparator, I think this was important to say, like, we decided to not include 2 counties explicitly, and why. Yeah, I think this is also something I specifically, this sentence, Ibrahim, if you read it once more and see that you are okay with this also.
No, yeah, I mean, I thought it was appropriate to mention that. No.
Okay. Madhya, Masood, you guys are okay with this also?
Yes.
Okay, and then with that, I think I just divided into Oregon and Washington counties that we kept in the comparisons. Then we talked about what cities we kept and why. Then discussion about the...
Chair,
Yes.
could I ask a question? So when you were noting that you decided to drop Thurston County, was that because it was included in previous reports? Or was that because it was provided, that was part of the data provided by the staff?
No, so the way we tried to, so when Ibrahim and I met, we decided not to limit ourselves based on the data that was provided by the staff, but rather look at it holistically and figure out all the ones we want to review. And if we need more data, you guys will always give us more data. That was our underlying assumption, that what you guys gave us is kind of, we just looked at it as a recommendation, but we independently decided what we want to review and then ask for any data.
Okay, great.
One other question, when I read this and I was doing my part as the methodology, I figured I did not need to mention Clark County and, what you said in this paragraph here. Now that it's become a summary, do you guys feel that we have to say something about that in the summary or not?
That the Clark County, sorry, what about the Clark County? Are you thinking about?
The elimination of those 2 counties. Do we need to get that in the summary or leave it as is? I mean, it's good here.
Yeah, I think this is enough. I think, like, let's leave summary as summary.
I think we need to be more concise.
Yeah.
Just have one observation that FT could be full-time. When you read, it just FT feels like, I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And I'm gonna take the recommendation. I'm gonna say that this was my cat typing. Maybe I was so asleep at that time. Okay. So geographic adjustment, I think this is something that I personally felt strongly about. Why is it complaining? Okay. And then we discussed this in the meeting about how we want to cover it. And I think our agreement was that we will say that we did the geographic adjustment, and then we compare it just to see whether there was a big discrepancy if we don't do it, and then we can. So that's kind of how we can. So that's how I did that, and that is shown, and when we actually get to the point of the numbers. Madhya, you had a comment?
I was just reading.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me know when you are.
It looks good to me.
Yeah, and I think this paragraph we discussed it also, so I thought it's good to keep it as well. Influence of county budget. This is something that we explicitly discussed both at the committee and then at the open meeting. So I thought it's good to keep that.
I thought it was pretty good, yeah.
Just to bring it to their attention.
And then, okay, so then we jump to the chair compensation. So up till here, it's talking about, yeah, okay. So, oh yeah, so this is a discussion of like, we agreed that the chair compensation should be more. Let me set. Okay. Okay, I will give you guys a second if you want to read it, or if you already have read it and know the feedback, then we can move on. But this is basically covering that the chair compensation, what our discussion went through. It does actually talk. I was not sure whether I should put it here or not, but since we had talked about it, like, I don't know, I just put like the actual recommendation here also. I could have left it to the next one, but I was thinking that the next section is more like calculations, whereas this section is kind of like the idea is like this section gives you enough information that you can do the calculation if you wanted to do. The next one is just showing the calculation. So I actually say like what the recommendation was.
No, I read it. It's fine as been shown here.
Okay, and then any other factors do we want to talk about? This is something that I can remove. I was just kind of kept it as a.
I
Do we
don't.
want to talk about anything?
So we should add more. I think we have
Okay.
enough information for our reasoning.
Yeah, I don't think that we took any of like anything this into our, like we just checked it, but there wasn't anything that went into the decision. We had actually talked about it in one of the meeting, and we had decided we are not gonna talk about the living wage things because we didn't use it for our recommendation. So
if we changed it or reduced it dramatically, then more explanation was required.
right.
For the heading chair compensation or chair compensation differential, I don't know. We could just keep it same. I don't know.
No, sure.
I think the adding the word differential is to make it look clearer, and this is that would be my recommendation. And if everybody agrees, let's add the word.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the recommendations, and assuming like if somebody disagrees, they will speak up again. Okay. Okay. Wow, there's so many empty pages. Okay. Yeah. So the way I formatted it, each heading one is a new page. But other than that, I have just kept the same sections. I will add some more spacing as well. Okay, salary recommendation detail. Yeah, I don't like this section, but I didn't have a better name. Should I say salary calculation? Salary recommendation calculation? I don't know what to.
It's not a calculation on this particular page,
Yeah.
so therefore,
okay. If you guys are okay with this,
yeah,
then I'm okay with this.
So, I mean, the calculations, to be honest about it, the only calculations are down below, and those are very minimal. So, so it would
Agreed.
not call out.
Okay, so here it talks about like the kind of details. We have given the summary table already, but this is kind of giving like much more detail, including what we did. So district, and then again, this is not going to talk about internal. This is just going to talk about finally like what we did. So it doesn't have any of the counties we did not look at. I spent some time adjusting like what information to put in here. So in the end, I decided to like do it this way, where since this is covering the commissioner salary and not the chair salary. This table doesn't have the chair. It has the commissioner salaries, what the geographic adjustment is, what the adjusted salary is, what city was used for the adjustment, and then we also got information about the salary determination process just to give that as well. So you have all the external data in one place.
That's, I don't think we need to add chair to create confusion again.
No, yeah, exactly. Actually, this is yeah. But is there anything else that you guys want, or anything you want to remove, or this is good?
I think it's good.
Okay. And then the thought process was like the base adjustments corresponding to 2024, 25. I should I think I was just calling it 2024 salaries, but I think the salaries are actually half year to half year. So maybe this is better.
So for by that token, it will be 25 and 26 rather than 24.
No, the way I was trying to say is that first we looked at the 2024 salaries.
Okay.
And we did an adjustment based on that. Fine. But maybe I should leave it 2024 because here table is 2024. And then, yeah, actually, maybe everywhere I'm using it.
Whatever it says on the report, what does it say on the previous report? Like what, like year, like?
No, but again, this is just talking about that when we did the external comparison, we were doing it on the 2024 salaries. I think this is highlighting that. This is not like when we recommend the salaries, we are recommending for 25, 26 and 26, 27. That one is clear. This was just like a discussion of last year's salary comparison.
That salary, that the ones that you're calling 24 salaries, it's actually 23, 24 salaries, right?
No, to me, they are 24, 25 salaries. That's what we asked for. But yeah.
I see the confusion because the report says 23, 24 salary commission recommendations, but this.
Which report are you talking about?
The previous report is called 23, 24.
Right, but that's not these salaries. So, okay, so the way I think about it, the salaries are given in half year, right? So 24 salaries get applied on second half of 24 and 25.
Live, effective, yeah.
We are called 25, 26 sections because we give our recommendation for those 2 years because it's like future looking. So we give our recommendation in 25 for the 25, 26 salary and recommend. Sorry.
I think the salaries are for a full year, but it's the fiscal year for the county starts from July 1 of 1 year.
That's what I was, I wasn't saying like that's what I was trying to say is that, so when you say 24 salary, it's actually like starting from June of 24 to, July of 24 to June of 25, right?
So the question that you are trying to understand is that if when we call it 24, it's a fiscal year 24 or it is a calendar year 24. And if it is a fiscal year 24, if it is a fiscal year 24, then this is the question for Tony and Adriana or Clerk Moss.
Yeah, we already asked that question, right? Okay. So we wanted to make sure that all the salaries we are looking at is the last year's salary, irrespective of when the recommendation was made.
So then it is 24 is fine.
Okay. Okay, so so basically talking about external comparators, talking about why we came up with the basically looking at so this is basically showing what the non-adjusted salary median and average is, what is net adjustment happened, and then the adjusted salary mean and median is, what is the Washington County salary is. I highlighted in bold the table that we actually paid more attention to because we were looking at adjusted salaries. And then based on these numbers, I said, like, I get some observations that like the salaries were slightly below both the median and average for both adjusted and non-adjusted. And the external data that we used seemed uniform, and we can see that both the median and average are pretty close to each other. And even though we did a geographical adjustment, it happened just by chance that the two ended up being very close. So we didn't have to go through and like review more if there was no discrepancy, basically. Or another way to say it, that just it didn't make a big difference. Then based on that, our recommendation was 2% base adjustment on the 2024 salary. So what we are saying is that we think their 2024 salary should have been 2% higher. So now, what is the actual recommendation? So our actual recommendation is that other than 2%, no other increase. But then I also mentioned that Washington County also decided not to do COLA adjustment for the Washington County employees, but instead of first pickup, and that is also applicable to the county board. What do you guys think? Is this clear enough, or will people be lost? And then, sorry, one last thing is that then just at the end, just highlight in bold what is our recommendation. I think this is an important section.
Honestly, since we are so close to this process and all those things, with the words are actually resonating to me as written. That this is what we had talked about, and I'm not finding any gaps and lack of understanding by just reading these. But maybe we need to sleep over and read it again, so if we can find a little bit a gap or a lack of understanding, or see if there's an interpretation difference. But like I said, for now it's sounding all right.
Ibrahim, Maria, what do you guys think?
I just, why are we using the word district all of a sudden? Are we district commissioners?
So let's come back to the terminology question, because I am inconsistent here. So I was trying to basically say commissioners other than chair. How do I say that?
Oh, okay. That's
because those commissioners are considered district commissioners, and the chair is considered commissioner at large, right? So that's one way to. There are multiple terminologies, but we should use one terminology in this report. So let's come back to that. I have I have that question.
We have that written. That we need to talk about the terminology at the end.
Okay.
Adriana?
No, let's. Sorry, I had a question. Sorry, comment. Go ahead.
More of a comment, just because I've heard it come up a couple of times. I think as a general, well, I mean, first of all, you have broad discretion in drafting this report. And so obviously you're clearly exercising that because you have authority to do that. As a general rule, when, and I think you know this, when we draft the reports, if you're going to use specific terminology that may not be clear to the reader, then you might want to define that at the very beginning. So your point, Chair, just a few minutes ago about when you say commissioners, you mean commissioners except the chair. I would just clarify that in a definition section or in the beginning. That way, everybody understands when they're reading the remainder of the document exactly what you mean.
That's a good point. Masood, can you take a note? I can
yes.
add that to that's a good point. Thank you. Okay. Okay. I think. Sorry. Any other feedback on this section? And then, okay, if not, then I just do the same thing for the chair salary recommendation, same thing and now we just talk about the commissioner salary and chair salary. Here we are adding both the salaries because we are showing what the difference in the salary is. This is something that I am asking Tony to give us, and I was writing this table, just feeling like, yeah, we should have this information, even though I think our decision, I don't think it will affect our decision too much because we are not trying to do average here or anything like that, right? We are just using this as a thing to double check our confidence. So I don't think it affects our recommendation, but just from the sake of giving full information, we shouldn't say that, hey, we couldn't get information from Pierce County and Lane County. That's a weird thing to say.
Yes, still working on that, just FYI.
Thanks. Okay, so that one is the external comparator, and then the discussion for the chair salary is basically saying that, hey, after deliberation, we had already decided that it was 10%. So with 10%, that is our recommendation. And then I just put this, what this means, right? So if somebody is saying, okay, then how much did the chair's salary increase this year? Then just trying to answer that also. Because this is more of an indirect way of saying, and this is just saying okay, year to year, what was the change? And then the recommendation for 2006, all of them basically just saying that they should stay 10%.
So I just wanted to ask at the top, the second paragraph on chair's salary recommendation, compared with external comparators, 10% is in line with the county except. Do we need to give explanations again? We already gave an explanation in the differential part.
I am okay with removing this. Let me see how it compares with the external comparator.
Like I feel at this point we just
Did we already? I think I didn't we already gave that when we were doing it? Did we talk about this particular point in the
can move
external
this
comparator?
in the differential part and just make it simple here. Like this is the recommendation. Like, if you want like that title, chair compensation differential at the back. The reason.
Okay.
Where did I go?
Okay, yeah, you're right. It's already covered there. Thanks. I'm just gonna remove this from here since we cover. Thank you. Makes sense. Okay. And then, so this is a recommendation for 2025. This is a recommendation for 2026. And then just like maybe I like tables. I don't know. Okay, so this is kind of the table that combines everything. It's basically showing the actual number, the increase. It's basically the same information that's in the summary table, just maybe a little bit more highlighted and like.
Do we want to on the table that you are at? Do we want to state it even more, make it clearer by saying a new salary table or recommended salary table or something like that, or it's I mean,
Or propose final salary, like.
yeah, for the proposed final or recommended, either words would
But the
yep,
table
that's
has
fine.
more than that. It has more information than just the recommended salary.
Yes, yeah, it is the actual final, the word final
Yeah, this is what the final
proposal.
thing is.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna, since we were talking about the fiscal, I'm just gonna remove this confusion that I added. Okay, so what do you guys want this table to be? I'm okay.
Final salary table. Yeah, that would be my recommendation. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the final.
I thought our charter is to give a recommendation.
Final recommendation. Like so that.
Okay, not call it a table at all is what you guys saying?
Yeah, we can just say final salary commission recommendation.
Okay, is that good?
Yeah, we can do this.
Okay, good. Thank you guys. Okay, so then, okay, county commission interviews. I was thinking we should move it to the.
Yeah, this is the appendix now. Yeah.
No, we haven't hit that. Right now it's before appendix. We should move it to the appendix, right?
Yeah. I think we discussed this before also.
Yeah. And then one other thing is, do we want to keep the names here or that's understood?
I think it's nice to have names because they change. So somebody opens at that point in time who were the commissioners.
So the reason I'm saying is that we actually went through, and in our process we covered like county interviews.
We should put it here maybe then the names
we have it here.
The names, yeah.
the names. I don't see the names. Did you have them?
Commissioner Willie, Commissioner.
Oh,
Fire,
okay, okay. Oh, I see it. But
Okay. Oh,
okay.
you are thinking like it's better to have full names in okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, I will. Then maybe just do one thing. Okay, I will. Okay, maybe I've not done anything with all of that work. Okay, so we had talked about maybe combining some of these. What are the thoughts on that? Or just keep it like, do people have any thoughts on whether we want to keep these 3 sections or change it? I'm okay with this.
Now that it's an appendix, I'm okay with this. Like, it's not in the report.
Okay.
Same here. If you're going to move them as an appendix, this the making it perfect is not the objective anymore. The objective is to provide the information if somebody wants to look at it.
Okay. So then the okay. So then acknowledgements. I think so. I feel bad that I didn't think on this on my own, but as I was going through other reports, I saw that I saw this mentioned, and I think without Kevin, Tony, Adriana, and Mary, and all the people who supported us, I would have been lost. So this is basically to acknowledge that the very important and very helpful role that all of these guys played. Thank you. So I think this is, I wanted to kind of like, yeah, so we should acknowledge that without, like, we couldn't have done our work without it. And thank you so much for both educating us and supporting us. I was thinking maybe Ibrahim and Madhya, one of you guys want to take the lead on this and write it, and then we can review it in the next meeting.
I'll write it. Like,
Oh, you okay? I was gonna say.
So
can
I
do
think,
it.
yeah, if you guys write and review it before the Friday meeting, then in the Friday meeting, we can all review it.
okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Oh, we should add Mary to this too.
Yes, please. Yeah. That's sorry. I'm sure I'm missing people, but conclusion. After going through all of this, I don't know what conclusion is. We have given the final summary. We have a summary. We have like everything.
Yeah.
So to me, this makes no sense.
Yeah, we can remove it.
I agree with you. I mean, the summary but it just
Yeah, exactly. Summary covers it at the start.
covers
Like we
it,
will just,
yeah.
yeah. It's like a summary at the start and summary at the end. Okay, that's perfect. So, okay, so
Agreed.
then in the appendix sections, what things do we want? So we already have a few things here, the table that we just moved.
I have
I think, sorry, go ahead.
like, how do I do this? It's a little bit like, I don't have all the material like the.
I don't worry. I wanted you guys to think about it and discuss it here. That's it. We can all do it together. I wasn't expecting people to actually write it, just like add any ideas you guys think should be here. Okay. Okay, so let's just go through this first, see whether you guys think any of this should be here or not, and we can agree to like none of this. I don't think we need a Ballot-Meyer charter. The introduction or the first page mentions the Ballot-Meyer. Anybody can look it up. So I was personally feeling it's not needed. Any objections?
No.
No.
Okay. Any links provided? This is kind of my placeholder way of saying any other information we are thinking of. Timeline of salary commission, I think, would be a good one to add. It actually was helpful to me just to remind myself when I was trying to come up with the process on like what we did and how. So I think we should add it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we can add a timeline sheet that Tony makes for us, like the final.
Exactly. It doesn't belong in the report, but as an appendix, I think it's good. Okay. So I will add that.
Or do we want to add that in our summary or initial somewhere that the commission?
No, I want to keep it as, because to me it has nothing to do with the recommendation, but it's a good reference.
Well, the only question that I would have is that if this was done according to the charter that was created, then there would be a salary commission, not and there would be not a. We did it in compressed schedule. Let's call it that way. So I want to make sure that uh, are we putting in the compressed schedule that we followed, or are we, or what are we showing as a timeline here?
What we did.
Final one.
What we did?
Yeah, whatever the final one we did.
Okay, so it was a compressed because we were supposed to start the process sometime in November, December last year, 6 months process with all those things, whereas we with the help of Tony and so many people, Adriana, Clerk Moss, and Mary, we were able to do it very quickly in 5 weeks' time.
Yeah, I think
I
think this is just showing what we did. It's not showing what the ideal timeline is, and I think we have given that feedback to Tony, and I think Tony, let us know if there's some other way that we should explicitly give the feedback on, not just that, but any other process things. I think that we should give. Yeah. Okay. Link. Okay. So then, take care. Okay. So pointer to agendas and meetings. I think we had talked about whether we wanted part of the report, whether we wanted links, whether we should mention it. I would rather not have links that might get outdated. I would rather not add meeting agendas and minutes of all the meetings in this report and make it super long for no good reason. If we want, we can have some other information section and can say that agenda minutes and recordings are available on the Washington County website. That's the kind of thing. What do you guys think? And that way, if the Washington County website changes tomorrow, people can just do Google and find it. What do you guys think?
Sure.
I think people who are interested in it, they know how to find it. I don't think we need to include it. The short statement that you mentioned, that probably be helpful or sufficient enough.
Okay.
Clerk Moss wants to say something.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair. So in the cover page that will go on top as your report as an attachment, I have a link to the website where they can click on that link and it takes them to the whole Salary Commission so they can look at any minutes, agendas, videos. It's all
that's even better.
So,
okay. That's perfect. Then I don't think we even needed that. Cover page already covers that. And then that Salary Commission page is actually very nice because it doesn't just cover us, it covers all the Salary Commissions. So
we don't need we don't need this here.
And then in the report, I already mentioned that we did look at the Multnomah report, so that's good. Recordings, I think, so that also is in there. Okay, so that actually makes it very nice and clean. So we will have timeline of a salary comparison between elected officials and leadership roles. Why is it normal text and not heading?
Yeah, and the questions, interview questions.
And then we have this private thing, which is also normal, should be heading 2. And then the interview questions, which is also normal text. Should be heading 2 also. I do not like when this happens.
Do we want to do page break before each appendix, like so that they start on a different page?
Good idea. is happening? Okay. Can I request people to close it if they have it open? Let's maybe reset it one time.
Okay.
This shouldn't happen. The whole point of
I closed mine.
thank you. Okay, so it is-
Closed.
Thank you. I will do a refresh. Okay. So let's refresh this and see where things are. Okay, the whole thing is a heading. I need to fix that. Okay, this looks good to me. Now we have names only on things that we have to finish. Oh, summary, actually, now we have a good summary also. Perfect. Okay, I think that should fix the thing that we were seeing. Okay, so I think there's a few items in the appendix that we still need to fill. Acknowledgements we need to fill.
I can do the timeline. I'll take the timeline. Just a
I
short one.
sure. I have already given it to me.
Okay.
Sorry, Ibrahim, you had a comment?
Are we doing any more than the timeline schedule that we have?
Yeah, that's the next item on the agenda after this.
Oh, no, I mean here, do we need to include the time? I mean, do we need to say any more than the timeline chart that we have? In the appendix?
Oh, in the text, I was thinking of just putting it there. It's to me, it's kind of self-explanatory.
Okay.
Let's. Yeah, I can quickly show what it looks like.
I just want to know what am I doing if you're doing the timeline.
Yes. Let me remove this. Okay. Okay. So now, cool thing is, you guys, like since we cleaned it up in our meeting, we can just do a refresh, and we can see other people's names. So internal comparator Masood is supposed to do it. Oh, I will remove it for the external comparators also has been reviewed. Okay. Let's flash it one more time. So yeah, people should be able to see their names. So acknowledgement, Ibrahim and Madia, or did we change the order from, was it Ibrahim and Madia or Madia and Ibrahim? I forgot.
I can do it, but
Yeah, we can do it.
What did we decide? Sorry. Okay, I will let you guys do it. Okay, so timeline Selvig is me. Comparison of leadership role is Masood. Commission interviews is Madia. So why is it not showing those things? Just when you try to show off that it should. Okay. Masood with Madia as a reviewer.
For the interviews, right?
For the comparison of leadership, I think Masood was going to. Oh, actually, the table was complete. There was nothing needed here.
yeah, what's yeah.
The comparison was somewhere else, like
The comparison is somewhere else, right?
Summarize
Right.
it.
Yep. You are absolutely right. There it is. Masood and Madia.
Sorry, I can't. Where are we? Which heading is this?
And I still have that AR or action, the task to everything in green, try to summarize it.
Yes, actually, yeah, that's a good point. That is not showing up anywhere. Oh, this is what happened last time. That's why it's not showing up. because it doesn't like it. Why doesn't it like it?
I think that private sector title is not showing up, right? In the-
Yeah. What?
Oh god.
Okay.
I think I got
We
tired.
need to send an error code to the Google guys and ask them to fix it. Just kidding.
Okay, let me take care of it. I will make sure that people's names show up, except Masood, for your thing, it's not, it's basically in
I
the
got it.
middle, it's not in the heading.
I got it.
And there are a couple of other things, like you have this exec
Yeah,
judge.
but
I'm assuming that you will fix that.
Yes, I'll fix them. Just that there are a couple of items there.
Right. Okay, and then based on this, are we saying that the final report is good to go for? I think it's good. You should be able to do the last cleanup Friday.
On Friday. And on Friday, as previously agreed, I'll be joining the meeting a little bit late. Yes, we are going to start at 2:30, I believe, or 2 o'clock, something like that. We
2
agreed.
o'clock, 2 o'clock to 3:45 with the 3:45 hard stop.
Yes, and I'll be joining it at either right about 2:30 to between 2:30 and 2:45.
How do you guys feel about in the appendix adding a short section or a brief section about the history of the Salary Commission? And the reason I'm saying that it's relatively a short process that the county has started, and maybe be helpful to the reader to know
Does that show in our
about it.
cover page?
Huh? Did we say something about that?
Does it show on our cover page, the first page?
Oh, maybe I missed it.
So
Like
the closest thing we have is this right now in the report, which doesn't even try to say how many salary commissions there have been.
And I think that's probably enough there, yeah.
I think actually there are a couple of other places where we refer, like in 2021 commission, which was the first commission, changed it from, yeah. So there's a couple of other places which refer that also, but I'm okay either way. If you think, Ibrahim, that
No,
you
this
would
is,
want
I
to-
just missed that part, so that's good, I think.
Okay. Okay. So last thing on that is like, so I like the suggestion that we should add a terminology page at the start. Let me just do that right now.
Definitions or terminology used is going to be the.
So should I put like before the salary recommendation or after the salary recommendation?
It should be before.
I feel after, because this, I want to just have this as a highlight first. There are no words.
The reason I have it after, I was also thinking after, is that there is nothing they need to know to read the, like,
Yeah.
we don't need them to read that just to understand the recommendation.
So maybe when we start talking about it, then we after the summary, like if we start talking, or there's some terminology in the summary.
No, I think we should do it before summary. Like, I think in a normal documents, I see it in two places. The first section or the last section is normally what it is. In this particular case, I was thinking that we shouldn't put it at the end, and somebody who's reading may not even realize it was there by the time they have read through all things. So it should be at the start. I want salary recommendation to be the first thing. So that's why I was thinking, yeah, I can put it second. Masood, Ibrahim, what do you guys think?
So I'm okay actually in the beginning of the document, for the reason that we would not be talking about pages and pages of terminology or definitions. We probably, if any, we will have maybe about 4 or 5 definitions of terminologies used. If there are more than that, then we have a further cleaning up to do.
Okay, if you guys want, on the same page, I can put terminology or have a new page and one page just for the salary. Actually, just this. Why am I trying to save pages? Okay, I will have section here. Tell me. No, apologies. Okay. Okay, so let's just agree here so that I don't have to come up with it. Chair is very clear. This means okay. So question for everybody. If I want to refer to the district, all the commissioners except the chair, is there a term that you guys already use that we can just use? When you say commissioners, does it mean commissioners including chair or commissioners excluding chair?
Excluding the chairs, just the commissioners. That's the terminology that I'm familiar with. Commissioners means each of the other 4 commissioners beside the chair.
Yeah, that has been my experience as well.
Mhm.
If somebody wants to talk about refer to the chair and the commissioners, they will usually spell it out just like that, the chair and commissioners. Or the board of commissioners. So you're referring to both the chair and the commissioners as
The
one.
whole body, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so I will do this then.
Also, I think if we alphabetize our terminology, it's easier. But if we don't have too many words, then it's fine.
Sounds good. But yeah, the reason I was thinking of doing it is that I can do this. Okay, what do you guys think? Or should I be more explicit here?
Could you just make it a little bit bigger? I'm so sorry.
No, not my bad. Let me go back. I keep shifting between.
Thank you.
Okay. So, okay, so maybe these are the 3 that we use.
Adriana and Kevin, can you check me? But I feel like I've heard Board of County Commissioners or BCC as sort of one of the standard terms for
Mhm.
this.
Yeah, the word term
Yes.
BCC is used in the abbreviation.
Is that clear enough, you guys think? Or
Say that again.
is this clear enough? Or
Yeah, I
I
think
should not be
yeah.
using arithmetics here.
That's what I was going to ask the commissioners.
Yeah, we can just put and instead of plus. I don't know.
Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Masood is enjoying my struggle. I see. Okay, and then is there anything else? And then
I'm not enjoying it. It just shows up who has the left side the hemisphere more stronger of a brain, and who is artistic, who is more verbal, and who is more methodical, and algebraic mind.
okay, I'm gonna say salary year refers to the fiscal year. Is that good?
Yes.
I don't feel that's enough. Maybe we better spell it out, like 2024 means fiscal year 23-24, and then 25 means 25-26, to be clear. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think clearer the better.
I wouldn't. Do we need? I mean, it's may reference more than the. Well, let me see where you finish it first.
Okay. The reason I say is that there are places where oh, actually, this is a better way to do it.
Yes, this is.
6,
Much better.
25,
Yeah, that was
26,
what I was thinking.
27, and then I can say current survey refers to okay. Is that good, guys?
I like that better.
And then I will just make sure that these are the terms. Is BCC okay to use shorten? Because in some places, like that's the only one. And then should we just go ahead and just remove WA and OR and just put Oregon and Washington everywhere? What do you guys think?
Yeah, it expels out and the report will be more better.
Yeah, so the only place I will have it is when I have a city name, comma, state. That's the only place I will have it. Otherwise, every place else I'll remove it.
I was about to say the same when we are talking about this Snohomish County in Washington at that time. The Snohomish comma WA is appropriate.
Yep, that's the only place I will leave it. Okay, I think this is okay. I will make it. Anything other that you guys think should be clear in terminology? If we find something, let's add it. But I will spend a little bit of time today to make things consistent and also figure out why the Google Doc keeps crashing when we try to edit that and close that. Okay.
Sorry, I have one thing. That final report presentation heading, that the final report was presented to the board on June 24. Why do we need, like, since the cover letter says that, like, I don't know why it's a heading. Page 8.
I'm okay removing it.
No.
Okay, Ibrahim.
That
Masood.
information is going to be included in the timeline too, so I think it is it can be removed from here.
Okay. No objection. Okay. Anything else, guys?
So the salary determination methodology.
Should I call it salary commission methodology?
No, I mean, does that describe now what's underneath? That's what I'm saying, the methodology term.
The reason I used it because this is kind of how we came up with what the salary should be without actually doing the numbers, right? So this talks about whether we are going to use internal or external. It talks about which external to keep, which internal to keep. It talks about we want higher salary for chair. But that's the reason why I kept it like this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's methodology, process, approach. They're all like same thing.
It all mean the same thing. That's good. That's fine. Yeah. I'm okay.
Okay. Okay, I will send email when I have fixed the document and it stops crashing. It just doesn't like that one section, I think, is when we touch that section, it doesn't like it. So I'll figure out why. Okay. Anything else?
I think you also have a note for that you'll justify the whole document, right?
Yes, I will justify the whole document and I will, and Masood, can you say like justify the note and fix the error and send an email for me? Okay, I think
Yes.
we are good. Let's do the final. Actually, maybe I'm hoping the Friday meeting might be shortish. I don't know. We haven't been successful yet, but maybe the last meeting will be successful.
Well, we are successful in a sense that today we are not talking about adding a meeting. So that is a relief to all of us.
Okay. So now with that, we can switch to the next topic, Tony. Oh no, the next item on the agenda was to decide whether we are presenting the meeting on Tuesday, the 24th. I think we should be able to. Any people disagree?
That's still okay with the schedule of the board?
I think Tony or Kevin.
I believe that's already sort of, Kevin,
Already?
that was already
I was anticipating this, so I have the agenda title ready to go out with the agenda publishing tomorrow, and then we can add the final report and all materials Friday afternoon.
Sounds good.
Is that gonna be doable with the staff reviewing the formatting of the reports by Monday? Is that what we talked about earlier? That we're gonna let
I'm
this-
okay with us doing the formatting. I'm okay with that.
so we
I
can have
I
it
can
ready
do
by
it.
Friday. Okay.
Yeah, I can do it. So the only thing I think we will still need the staff to do is to add a cover letter and things like that, right? That is something that I will not be able to do. So I think we should maybe plan on handing off the report. So if our meeting finishes at 3:45, let's assume 45 minutes for any final touches, and then we will send out the report at 4:30 on Friday. I will do that. And I think from that, it will be, I think Kevin can take over from adding the cover letter and adding to the packet. Okay. Okay. So we all agree to that. Also, we don't need to update the timeline, Tony. So I think that one is done. I think I should have a pointer to it also, but just in case, if you send it out, I can add it to the report. One other thing from the report presentation, Maria, was we were originally thinking that, like, I don't know, how were we thinking about it? So we were saying you will start or I will start, or now I've forgotten what we talked about. But now I'm thinking like maybe you can start and I can finish.
We did not discuss all of this, so maybe.
Yeah, we were saying like we'll do the report first and then we will figure it out. So what I was thinking is we have 10 minutes to, right? So we should focus on the things that we want to focus on. The way I was thinking about it, we can give the salary recommendation and summary and the details and acknowledgement. Basically, those are the 4 things that we cover.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'm just trying to table content.
Yep.
Salary recommendation, and what was the next?
Summary.
Summary, and then the methodology. Would you like to?
No, I'll keep that if they have questions.
Okay.
Like if there are questions on why we did something or not did something, I can cover that as in the report. And I'll mention that maybe I'll just mention that the report has details on, yeah, maybe I'll just mention that the report, yeah, maybe if one person can cover the recommendation and maybe give a summary. And then the next person can say that, hey, the report also includes the process and the methodology of why we do things, but to save time, we won't go into that.
We can try to time ourselves, because since you did so much work into the comparators and all, if you want to talk about them a little bit, I don't know, we can time ourselves.
Okay, let me think about it some more. Kevin, 10 minutes is what we have, right?
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes, whatever you need. So right now you are on my agenda. You are the last item on the agenda, the second action item. So it's
Sounds good.
yours.
So
yeah, 10 to 15, whatever you feel is sufficient for what you need for the board.
yeah, so I think we'll plan for 10 minutes, Nadia, and then that will leave any like 5 minutes if they have any follow-up questions or something like that.
Just something just came up to my mind again. A question regarding timeline. When we start the summary and introducing how we did it, should we mention that how many times you met to do this, or just remove that part?
Okay, great.
So Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, so that is covered in the cover page that I'm putting together, that I have you met 10 public meetings on there. So Mr. Chair, you were talking about a cover letter. You don't need to do any extra cover letters. You guys just need to submit the report, and I will, the cover page, I'll just take just a little bit from here to put on that cover page.
Sounds good. And when we present to the board, we go over the cover page also, right, or no?
Can you say that again?
do we go over the cover letter that you will add, or we just go directly to the report?
No, so the cover report will basically say that you and Medea are presenting on it, and then you can just go through your sections, and then it'll just have the requested action of the board is accepting your final report.
I see.
So that's the motion that the board will take up.
Okay, got it.
And
Thank
to
you so much.
clarify, Kevin, the board does get a copy of this ahead of time.
Yes, so when I publish this Friday afternoon, evening, it'll go live for the public and the board. They will all see it.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so anything else?
We can
Okay,
discuss.
sorry, go ahead.
I think we can discuss in the next meeting how we present.
Yeah, I think exactly we can cover it the next minute. We just should plan for 10 minutes.
And I'm
Okay,
assuming
sorry,
if
go
you want to do a PowerPoint, you can as well. Right? Clark Moss?
Yes, they can do a PowerPoint if you would like. There is no requirement that you have to for this report, since we'll have that. I don't think you would like to add any more work that you guys have done here. So
It's such
That
a
is-
pretty table we have in the report. We'll just talk to that. Okay. Okay. Coming back to the other agenda, anything new that we have, anything that was not on the agenda that anybody wants to add for today's meeting? Masood, you're talking, but you're on mute.
Those pesky buttons. Yes, so during the meeting we talked about a few line items that we wanted to discuss. We have already taken care of the defined the terminology at the terminology definition section, and the only thing that we have not done, which is you're going to do it at some point in time, is justify the document. Just kind of summarize the tasks that we have taken here, along with the fact that I have a couple of tasks and so does everybody else.
Sounds perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, the last agenda on the item is any public comment. Kevin, can you do that for us? Can you take over for that?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Would anyone viewing this meeting via Zoom like to provide public comment to the Salary Commission on anything that you've heard tonight or anything throughout their process? Give you just a moment to utilize the raise hand function. Not seeing any hands, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. We have covered all the agenda topics, no new agenda other than a summary of things to do. With that, I'd like to call this meeting adjourned. Thank you so much, guys. See you on Friday.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.